what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be diving in to this new type of way they are structuring a tournament. I want to dive into the numbers and let you know exactly what I think about it, because I think they finally did a dragon tournament properly. The dragon has been the best dungeon in the game, kind of in terms of generally useful gear because of the speed and lifesteal set, so they usually didn't give out very good rewards for it, but I think they finally got a dragon tournament right. I'm going to dive into the numbers and explain why, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and pull up what I am talking about here. So you can see the dragon tournament that ends in 5.5 days from the point of me recording this video. Now, dragon tournaments are usually pretty hype because, like I said in the intro, it's a very good dungeon for everybody to grind from early game, mid game, end game, because speed and lifesteal are very generally useful sets. The accuracy set is a very good filler set. The stalwart set can have some fun utility in certain clan boss teams in certain situations. The frost set, I mean, there's lots of useful gear in the dragon, and obviously you can never have enough speed pieces. So what they have been doing in the past, which I was not a fan of, is they've been structuring these tournaments in a way on the right side where the points ended at like 2,750 and the top reward would be like a 4-star chicken. And the reason that happens is because they know that lots of people are going to grind the dragon no matter what, so they don't really need to put up good rewards for people to go ahead and spend a bunch of energy in the dragon. But they finally stepped up and did a proper dragon tournament, and I'm super thankful for that, because usually I've been recommending, you know, hey, yeah, I mean, go ahead and grind it just because the dragon's a good dungeon to grind, but the rewards on the right are really not worth it, and it's also kind of doubly not good because the dragon, with it being so common, your odds of actually having a realistic shot at the rewards on the left, the relentless gear and stuff, and finishing in the top 2 of your group is going to be super low, because out of 100 players in a pool here, there's basically always going to be a few whales that are just going hard in the dragon no matter what. I mean, with or without a tournament. So your odds of getting relentless gear, very low, and the rewards on the right, very bad. So dragon tournaments in the past were usually something I didn't like to recommend, and I didn't think were structured properly, but this is a massive step in the right direction. So let's dive into the numbers and explain why. Let me pull up the offer sheet here. Okay, so if you pull up the info tab, you can see the points breakdown of the tournament and kind of how your gear gives you points based on the rarity and the star level. So I did my analysis based on Dragon 20 because that's what I do. That's kind of the end game farm for the dragon. Now, this isn't exact, but typically you're going to get about 17.5 points per run in Dragon 20. It can be a little bit more, it can be a little bit less, depending on RNG of how many legendary artifacts you get. Obviously, that can wildly affect the points. But over the course of a large sample size, you'll get about 17.5 points per run. You can see a 5-star epic is worth 17, a 6-star epic is worth 22, and you can see just kind of by looking at the numbers, I have tested it in spreadsheets and stuff, but you can tell just by looking at the numbers that it's going to be about 17 point something in terms of what you get per run. So you can see how I've got the offer sheet pulled up here, and why does it say $36 and a 2.07 value and all of that? Let me walk you through here. So what I did was I plugged in the rewards that we're getting, the Sacred Shard, the Void Shard, the Ancient Shard, the 23 XP brews, the 20 gems, and where did I get the 15 million silver? So to get 6,500 points, if we get 17.5 per run, it's going to take us about 375 runs in the dragon, which is about 6,000 energy. And how much is 6,000 energy going to cost us? Well, depending on how you acquire your energy, how diligent you are about your spending, and if you have refills sitting in your inbox, bunch of different factors. If you're wailing out to get it, or if you're, you know, scooping up good offers, that much energy is going to cost you somewhere between $40 and $50. But remember, this is over the course of a week, so you do generate some free energy over that time. So it's not going to cost us that actual 40 something dollars. It's probably going to cost an amount closer to $35 in terms of money you would have to spend to really make sure you're maxing this out. That's where I got the $35 input price that I have right here. So now we look at what we're getting. How'd I get the 15 million silver? Okay, from those 375 runs that we do to complete the dragon, when we count the silver from the dungeon and the trash items that we sell, it's going to be about 15 million. Now, remember, that's obviously not exact. It could be 13 million. It could be 18 million. It's going to be about 15 million that you end up profiting from those 375 Dragon 20 runs. So that's where I got that number in terms of the 15 million silver. The rest is just the straight up rewards that we're getting on the right side. This does not include the gear you're going to farm. Over the course of 375 runs, your odds of getting a really good piece is about 20% in terms of like the right set. Like getting a lifesteal or speed set, it's about 20% chance. So you're gonna get about 70 speed and lifesteal pieces. So that's not included in this value. And then probably about 20 something of those are gonna be 6-star because it's about a 70 to 30 ratio. So if you get 70, about 20 of those will be 6-star speed and lifesteal artifacts, and that's not included in here, which those definitely have a lot of value for your account. So grinding this tournament is going to be really good. And then on top of that, it's not including anything on the left. So if you can finish high in your group, which in this tournament is going to be very tough because how I have just described it to you and how the numbers kind of finally make sense in terms of really going hard in a tournament because of how much it will progress your account and how much it will be worth it, you're going to have a lot of people going super, super hard. So, you know, don't really count on getting the relentless gear. But the good news is even if you just get the rewards on the right, and in terms of the progression for your account and getting those really good artifacts and acquiring those 6-star pieces that have a chance to be good, this tournament is structured properly, and I hope they are doing more of these in the future because this is actually going to incentivize me to really go hard in the dragon and at least get the 6,500 points. I'm not going to get into a war where I'm trying to spend hundreds of dollars in energy to go after a relentless set and a couple books. That's just not kind of the spending tier I'm in. I'm sure there'll be 4 or 5 people in my group that want to spend $100 plus on energy. That's not going to be me. So I'll probably finish somewhere down in here in the 5 to 10 range. And that's totally fine because the way it's structured, like I said, the rewards on the right and the progression of your account is worth it this time. And I know there's going to be a few of you out there saying, well, okay, that's great, but not all of us want to spend money on the game this week. Not all of us are going to be wanting to spend $30, $25 on energy. So is this realistic for a free-to-play player who doesn't spend any money or spends very little money? And that answer gets a little bit complicated, but in the average, so this tournament is going on for 6 days. In 6 days, you can expect to get about 4,000 to 5,000 energy for free, just as a free-to-play player, depending on what they're submitting in terms of updates and handing out energy and how diligent you are about keeping your energy below maximum. You're going to get somewhere, I would say, around 4,500 energy in 6 days if you're doing your daily quests and because you get those 2 refills from the playtime and the daily quest, and if you stay below max, you're going to regenerate some, and sometimes they send out rewards in your inbox or just gift it out to the player base. An average 6-day period, you can expect about 4,000 energy, and this will take about 6,000 to get all of those rewards on the right and feel good about your chances to get them. So it is very doable for a low spending player, maybe even a free-to-play player. It would be very tough for a free-to-play player, and you'd have to dedicate everything towards the dragon. I think it's possible, but tough. If for a low spender, it's definitely doable in 6 days if you're prioritizing the dragon and kind of shifting your focus to that. So I did want to touch on that really quickly because I know not everybody is just kind of willing to throw $20 out there. So again, doable but tough for you free-to-play players and low spenders. If you're on stage 20. So for you newer players that aren't doing stage 20, it's going to be a little bit tougher than that because remember, you're not going to be getting 17.5 points. You're probably going to be getting like 15 and a half, something like that. So you'd have to shift those numbers to be a little bit tougher. So admittedly, for free-to-play players who aren't on stage 20, tough to get 6,500 points in 1 week. But if you're a low spender who's able to do stage 20, totally realistic to do. And then while I'm here and kind of on a discussion like that, we might as well get you caught up on the offers in the shop right now and let you know kind of what I think about them. This great deal mix pack, some of these I don't really have to plug them in. I just got done streaming and plugged them in live, so I'll give you a general synopsis here really quick. The great deal mix pack ends up grading out just over 2. or I think it was like a 1.9 actually. It's decent, but $50 for what you're getting here is this is going to be targeted towards a mid-game to early end-game player who spends a decent amount of money on Raid. So I think the target demographic is a little bit small on this one, but it's technically a pretty decent offer. The Independence Pack 1 is, we see a few different ones of this. I think there's a $50 version, a $70 version, and a $100 version, depending on your spending tier. They're all technically good value, especially if you don't have a Ceres. I think it makes the most sense for people to pull shards during this 10x boosted event if you do not have a Madam Ceres. I would say she's probably worth it to go after. She's S tier in the arena, and now that the 3v3 arena is out, she is arguably the best epic in the game, right up there with Skull Crusher because of his value with counterattack. But Ceres is amazing. If you don't have her, this is a really good time to pull shards for her because each shard is about a 1 or 2% chance. So when you get up to pulling 20, 25, 30 shards, you've got a pretty decent chance of getting a Ceres on your account, which is definitely game changing if you don't have her yet. And then the mini mix pack, I don't really need to go over that. The Immortal set for 5-star gear, $20, not going to be worth it in my opinion. And then the 1 sacred and 100 gems for $30 is not worth it in my opinion. So yeah, for those of you who are interested in spending money, I think it's down to these two, and you're just going to kind of have to ask yourself which one makes sense for you. The Independence Pack does technically grade out better in terms of the gear calculator, but I could see if somebody needs books and they have certain champions that they really need to get maxed out to progress their account, I could see the mix pack making more sense than the Independence Pack. So yeah, that kind of does it. Let me put this away. And okay, so yeah, the Dragon Tournament, it's a step in the right direction. It's not perfect, but this Dragon Tournament is light years better than the previous Dragon Tournaments. There are some things I would change. I would make it those rewards scale down just a little bit. I would like to see it be more realistic for free-to-play players to not feel like they have to purchase money, especially if you're focusing all of your attention on that tournament. So I would lower it from like 6,500, maybe 5,500, something like that. What was it, 6,500 or 6,000? Let me look at that here. Yeah, 6,500. So I would lower it down to like 5,500 or 6,000. Other than that, I like it. It makes sense for whales to go after the Relentless gear. It makes sense for free-to-play players to focus on a really good dungeon and maybe get some shards to boot. So it's finally structured in the right direction, and I hope they build on this and make the tournaments even better, because I think this one finally makes sense in terms of grinding instead of just leaving it alone like the previous Dragon tournaments. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments, if you think it's headed in the right direction like I do, or what you would like to see changed in the Dragon tournaments in the future. I really enjoy reading your guys' input. Even if I don't respond, I read about 90% of what you guys say down there in the comment section. So yeah, I appreciate you, and as always, have a good rest of your day. Peace.